What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the LetDirtFly YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be installing a complete nitrous outlet nitrous system on my 2020 Can-Am Outlander 850 XMR. We just recently built the engine in this thing. It is high compression, it's got cams, a full exhaust, the whole nine, but we also gapped the rings for nitrous, so this thing is ready to go for just that. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to install it. This is all with the help of Blaze Middleton and OnKill Powersports. So without further ado, let's get into what you're going to need to install this stuff on your quad. Alright, so here is roughly what you're going to need if you want to do a nitrous setup on your Can-Am Outlander or a Renegade. So this entire setup can be bought through OnKill Powersports. He is a nitrous outlet dealer, so if you guys want to get this exact setup, he has the entire parts list ready to go. So if you're ready to do some nitrous, literally can just order right through him and everything you see here will come to your doorstep. So to start, we have from the bottle our main feed line as it goes around, and then we connect in with a T-setup. Now this T-setup goes to our purge valve. Now normally you don't need to run this. You can just run straight to the solenoid, because on these quads the nitrous line is so short you technically don't need to purge it, but I mean, it's a nitrous life. We gotta have a purge. So we teed in a purge here. I gotta obviously uncoil this and run this up front. I might end up upgrading, changing that a little bit and making my own situations. This way I can kind of run the purge how I want. But after the purge, it goes right into our main solenoid. So right off of it, it wires off. It goes to two separate lines, and each one of these is going to go into our intake runners. So what these are just some elbows, and then we have the main nozzle itself, and then if you unscrew this guy here from our AN connector right here, there is an orifice in there, or a jet, and that is going to restrict how much nitrous actually goes in this. If we took that jet out and hit this thing with basically a straight braided line for each cylinder, we will probably explode this engine, because I don't even know what shot that would be, but that would be a lot. So talking with Blaze and Josh, we ended up going with 0.024 jets, which should equal in total about a 40 shot. That's what we're gonna be running, and this is the setup we gotta do. So right now what I'm gonna do is get this all actually connected, because right now it's just dry fitted, and we're gonna throw this setup in the quad. Alright, and there you have it. Everything's all tightened up, everything's good to go. Got my solenoids all set up. So now it's just a matter of getting everything put in the quad. I just gotta figure out how to mount this deal up. Just make sure it's nice and secure, because we don't want this stuff coming loose. So now let's go ahead and figure that out. And then after that, we're gonna get into the real fun stuff, which is wiring this whole system up to work. We're gonna try and mount up our nitrous solenoids. And as you can see, they're kind of awkward the way they are. So what I'm going to end up doing, I actually found two screws that fit into the bottom of the actual nitrous solenoid, not the purge one. Now Blaze uses some kind of clamp to hold right between here. I can't really see what he's using, but I'm going to try to do my own thing here. So what I'm going to do is right off this bracket here, right underneath the quad, there's usually a bunch of electrical connectors. We're just going to tuck those back and zip tie them out of the way. So I'm just going to make a temporary cardboard bracket here, and I went ahead and marked my holes. So we got the two here for the two holes that are already drilled in the quad, and then we got the two on the top side here. That is the solenoid. So basically it's just going to mount in here just like so, and then the solenoid's going to be, boom, right on top of there. So let me go ahead, we're going to drill these out now, and then transfer this to some metal, bend it, twist it, all that fun stuff, and then mount it in the quad. Alright guys, so it's actually the next day here. Sorry about the fan noise. Seth actually showed up. But right now, I ended up
actually showed up. Dude, come on. It's work week.
So yesterday I went ahead and I actually made a bracket to hold up the nitrous solenoids. That came out really good. Right now what we're actually doing is building the brackets for the bottle. All right, so we actually started making the bracket that's gonna hold up the nitrous bottle here. So basically I just made some nice welded plate there, and then we're just gonna have 3 bolts per side actually holding this thing in here. So this is normally where the voltage regulator mounts, but right now I just got our tack welded up, and we're just drilling some pilot holes so you can kind of see our angles that the bottle's gonna have to mount to. But yeah, so right now it's just a mock-up stage. We're just tack welding some stuff, and hopefully in a few here we'll have our final product and get the bottle actually mounted in here. What I'm gonna have to end up doing is, you can see the aluminum pieces out of it right now. It's right here. I'm gonna have to end up chopping that up to make the bottle work around it.
Alright guys, so you probably saw a really brief montage, possibly, of this. This took hours to do. Everything in here had to be cut and fabricated. I mean, we took 90% of this brace out. We took all of this out. There's no... Here, show them the trunk.
No trunk.
That's what the trunk is. We had to bend metal. We had to do everything to get this thing in. Actually, can we pop off easy enough? So if you look at this,
that's wooden tool.
Yeah, perfect. You know, we had to fabricate all this. Marshall's beautiful welding. This is the best one. So just look at that one. Actually, no, this is this is the best one.
It's gonna blur then.
But but yeah, so all this got fabricated. This took hours. 4 or 5 hours.
It takes some time
between all this stuff, because you cut once, doesn't fit. Cut again, doesn't fit. Cut again. You just keep going. You don't want to take too much out at a time, so it just makes for a lot of work. But it came out good. It is solid. Look at this thing. That thing is that is not going anywhere. You know, he's gonna go through. He's gonna paint everything.
Yeah, can't leave that. It's gonna last for 5 seconds.
Yeah, he's gonna go get different bolts and everything, but that's beautiful.
Seth is ready to ditch the hinge idea, but I do need to be able to get in and...
I was ready to ditch it because I had to fabricate it.
I have to be able to turn on and off the bottle, so I think I can just do that. That simple.
No, it's great.
I just hope it doesn't blow off with water intrusion.
No, that'll be perfectly fine.
It's pretty solid.
Because it's gonna get a bolt here. It's got 3 here, 2 here. Skull. That's what Marshall really wanted. He wanted to conceal this thing. It took a lot of work.
It looks cool though.
I wanted to put it up where the radiator was. He didn't want to do that, but you know what? It worked out. So
the internet wanted stealthy, man.
The internet didn't want stealthy. You wanted stealthy.
But I convinced them stealthy is the way to go.
It's okay. But it's done. So now Marshall, like I said, just has to take it all apart. Has to paint everything, change the bolts.
I want to get all grade A hardware for all this and stuff like that, just because don't want it to rust, and I want to be able to take it apart one day.
Everything needs to have
I gotta clean this all up. I'm going to take the grinder to a lot of this stuff. I could chop off any excess we don't need and stuff. This is kind of just quick, get it in there.
Well, this was the fabrication stage. Fabrication stage.
But the important thing is the bottle is easily removable. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's
not that difficult, believe it or not.
You can still see the bottle if you do come underneath. You can see, well, that big giant honking thing hanging under there. But it's not super like, wow, there's a bottle back there. So you do have to kind of look for it to see it. But no, this is gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be good.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be real good.
Alright guys, so it's actually the next day here. Seth and I actually had a really successful night last night. We got the whole nitrous tank all mounted up, so that's all good to go now. Now, one other thing we didn't update you guys on last night is I've actually had the exhaust on the quad for a while, but then I actually took it off because I had my buddy weld in the O2 bungs for us so we can tune this thing when we get down with Blaze. The exhaust is all on. You can see she's got some coloring already because I have been running around, but my buddy went ahead and got TIG welded in our O2 bunks. This one's gonna be a little tight. I should have came down at an angle a little bit more with it, but should still be able to get the sensor in there, and then get the big old pipe all the way back to the muffler. So looks really good. Can't show you guys it right now because something's missing, and that's my ECU. So I actually went ahead and I actually sent out my ECU to Mr. RPM. Reason being is Blaze is a lot more familiar with working with his tune, his baseline tune. So this is gonna be a little easier for Blaze to get right to work when we get down to Busco. So should be really nice that way. But then the other thing is the tune I had in this from RVS, not that there's anything wrong with the tune, it ran fine and everything. The rev limiter was only set to 8,800, which is not gonna work for us with nitrous because this thing is probably gonna be turning about 8,500 naturally aspirated, but then once we hit the nitrous, she's gonna probably go well over 9. So I just went ahead, sent the ECU out to Mr. RPM. Hopefully gonna have it back here within a week and get this sucker running once again. I haven't ran it in a couple days. I do wanna run it some more around the yard and everything like that before we go down to Busco, and then drop the oil one more time just to make sure everything does look good. So right now what I gotta do is I actually just had to finish off some work we started last night with our nitrous bottle bracket. I wanna go ahead and get it just sanded, painted, primered, whatever, just keep it from rusting basically. So in a few minutes here actually we're gonna go ahead and wire up the nitrous system. I know some of you guys actually want to see that done because you guys are doing some nitrous on your guys' quad. So I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna do it, which should be pretty straightforward. We've got some relays, some other stuff. So right now let me finish up this other stuff, then I'll catch you in a few to do the wiring. All right, so yet again another day just slowly tinkering away at this thing, trying to get it done. What I ended up doing last night is I completely actually plumbed the entire nitrous system. So let me show you what we did. All right, so I did this a little bit different than some of the other guys just because I just wanted to kind of make my own thing. So what I ended up doing is I got 2 shorter equally length lines for the nitrous, and we went right into the intake like Blaze wants us to. Now I got the nozzles both pointing inwards at the intake valves, so this way we're going right down into the engine nicely. And then I just angled upwards, came around, and right into our Y there. I actually got a 45-degree connector that doesn't want to focus right there, just to bring it up at a better angle so this way you don't see it when the side cover's on, because I'm trying to be stealthy now. The other thing I did is I went ahead and got a longer purge line. So as you can see, it goes all the way up and around, comes underneath here, and then comes out by the radiator. And then I got 2 little guys. We got one there and one right there, and those are going to be our nitrous purges. So that's just going to spray straight up in the air and look really cool. Hopefully. Hoping it looks good. But yeah, got her all plumbed last night. I picked up a longer feed line from the tank, ran that around the back, got that all ready to go. And then I went ahead and actually just painted up the bracket too. So it doesn't look pretty, but it's just meant to keep it from rusting. But right now, today's goal is going to be actually wiring this thing all up. So Blaze says he tries to keep the relays under the dash, so that's what we're going to do. So it's a couple days later here. Been playing with the wires a little bit. It took me a while to decide what I wanted to do. I was following Blaze's kind of schematic he sent me, but I wanted to do a couple things a little bit differently with how I just ran the wires, stuff like that. So been kind of laying everything out how I like, so this way I can show you guys. So let me show you what we got. It's not done yet, but I want to show you what we're doing. All right, to start, we got our nitrous solenoids back here. So one wire off of each, I just brought right over to here and grounded it right to our engine ground, just so we have a nice solid ground that obviously goes right up to the battery, so that's a really nice grounding point. And then the 2 other wires, I used 2 different colors, ran them all in a nice sleeve to underneath here to our relays. Now the relays are not going to be mounted here, obviously. We're actually going to be mounting them right where you see that little bracket there. I got to still drill the second hole for the second relay, but I'm just wiring it all under here, then I'm going to poke it up and through the hole for the radiator stuff right there. But so these relays, these actually Blaze gets right off Amazon, and I decided to go with the same ones because he says he has good luck with them. So basically I got a little P written there. It's hard to see on camera, but there is a P there and a little N on this one. So purge nitrous. And how we have it wired right now is, so we got our power coming in for the switched side, then the blue side's going, one's going straight to the solenoid, which is, I got them butt connected right up in here. It's hard to see, but I do have them butt connected up in there nicely. And then the other one is going to the nitrous solenoid, but then also it's going to the dyno jet. The other part of the triggered side, or the switched side, is going to be going into the dyno jet here. So this way, basically when the switch is closed, it's not only going to send power to our solenoid there, but it's also going to send power up to here to say, hey, he's on the nitrous, you might want to add some fuel. So that's what this guy's job is going to be. All right, so before I go ahead and button up my wires, because I'm being a complete neat freak, I want to show you guys what we got. To start, we have our main power coming in underneath over here. I'm just stealing power from my winch solenoid. We have one feed wire which is 10 gauge running up, and that's going to this is going to be the power for our solenoids, which is going to feed them through the relays. This thinner red wire, this is for the switches, and then I have a ground wire running up for the switches as well right there. I have a fuse in line right here on our main power line for the solenoids back there. Well, then here's where we got the rat's nest going at the moment here, because I was just testing to see what I wanted to do. So basically what I have is, I have one power wire coming up right here. That's this red guy here. We're tying that into the switch for the arming switch right here. So this is going to be our arming switch. As you can see, it turns red because I actually have this wire here grounded. So right now I'm just grounding it right down there. It's temporarily because, like I said, I'm still figuring out what I want to do here. This is going to be our power in. This one's going out, and then I'm going to the purge, which is this wire here. It's our purge switch, and this switch is right here is our full throttle switch. And then they both come back and tie in with each corresponding relay over there. So if I try to hit the purge without it being armed, nothing happens. But if I arm the system, as you can hear, we got the relay, and we have the purge solenoid going. And then once it's purged out, behind here we have our full throttle switch, which is right here. And there's our full throttle switch. So everything is working. This is how I'm going to end up setting it up. So right now, let me go ahead and button it up all nice and neat. It's going to come out really good and look really good. So trying to keep everything as neat as I can. I'm taking my time with it. We have a week and a half left till Busco, so trying to get it done. All right, and just like that, she's all wired up. I got everything as neat as possible. I just got to zip tie all this stuff up, but got it all wired in. So basically, I'm gonna head down. It's gonna arm the whole system. Get the purge, and then when we go full throttle, we got the full on solenoid. So everything's hooked up and good to go. Now the big thing we did different, it's not a huge thing and it's very easy, I can add it on later if I want to, is Blaze makes a full-on kill switch for the nitrous stuff. So he actually cuts off the power going to the relays for the solenoid. I'm just killing power for the relays, the coil side of them, not the power side of them, I guess you could say, or the load side. Not a big deal. I don't think I'm ever going to have an issue, but what I might just do is somewhere's, I just want to put this kill switch for it, so this way it's completely dead at all times. I can turn that on before I ride and still have my regular arming switch to turn on nitrous when I actually want to use it, because still want easy access of it and everything. So maybe I'll just wire something in the back or something next to the nitrous tank just to arm the entire system. But other than that, she's basically ready to go electrical wise. Now I just got to wrap up a few other things. All right guys, so it's a couple days later here. I actually got the quad basically done. So there's a few things I just have to finish up with it, like smoke testing some more stuff and going through the whole thing, but check her out. And there she is. Everything looks really good. Looks completely factory. Got the MyLifter snorkel setup on there. Everything is wired in, good to go with the nitrous. I can't test my purge yet, I still gotta go fill the bottle, but I got the 2 purges set up nicely. And she looks really, really sick. And of course we gotta show off the reason we did all this. Well, some of the reason. I was just riding around until she's a little muddy. But let's just, oh yeah. That's the good stuff right there. So, Can't even tell looking at this thing that she's got a 10-pound nitrous bottle just chilling in the back, but she's basically ready to rip, guys. Got her mostly ready to go for Busco. Just got to finish up a few small things, and she is going on the dyno, so pray for her. This will probably be the last video until we actually go get it dynoed with Blaze, so that's going to be the next video coming up, and that's probably not going to be for another 2 weeks or so. So bear with us if you don't see a video for next week. Maybe we'll just do a Busco get ready video or something like that, but the next video of this thing, at least you'll see, she's going to be in North Carolina and on a dyno, and hopefully making some power and not blowing up would be a good goal. So with that, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. We really appreciate the support. So as always, make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and Facebook. We usually post there first before we post to YouTube, so get on over there, hit us up, all that fun stuff, and we'll just have to catch you guys next time on LetDirtFly. Hang on, guys. I almost forgot. We have a full HMF on here, and I didn't even show you guys what it sounded like. Let's fire it up.
Have you forgotten where you were?